folks, in our last knockout round here of the lower bracket of the lower brackets and the upper right in the red. He is from Team Liquid, Kelazhur.
And his opponent, his teammate spawning down in the bottom left. It is Elazer. This is kind of a sad matchup, but it's also a cool matchup because regardless, one of them will make it through. But of course, you hate to knock out a teammate. It's a terrible feeling. However, I gotta say, I feel like these guys are pretty good friends. Most of the EU pros, and even though Kelazhur is, of course, from Brazil, he lives in Europe, and he's kind of been adopted into that brotherhood, so to speak. You know, they're good friends. They have lots of banter. I remember Kelazhur and Elazer were preparing for a World Team League match or for a match somewhere, and Elazer, or it might have even been for the actual EU DreamHack Masters Valencia EU, and Elazer was practicing against Kelazhur, and Elazer was like, you know, he beat him, but he was like, Kelazhur was like, oh man, it seems like you had some trouble with me, and he's like, yeah, you're pretty good, and he's like, yeah, but like not as good as Clem. Oof, this looks bad for you. It was like, what a vote of confidence right before you go up against one of the best TVZ players of all time. It's just, they're just absolutely taking the piss.
Man, it's unrelated, but some of the doodads, we saw the Reaper go by there, and just my immediate response was,
oh yeah,
oh, Banelings? What is this? And then
yeah,
it's 2 minutes in, like, no, it's not Banes. What is this?
Yeah, I saw that too, and every time I see it, it makes me freak out and think there's somehow Banelings that have nestled themselves into the map. Yeah, I see that every time. Oh, we are going to see an attempt to get this drone, but Elazer, look at the jukes, and he doesn't have to build the Spore Crawler. Oh, Kelazhur, oh my god. One single dart from a Queen would have taken that out.
I mean,
very nice move.
And yeah, here the Queen just, again, bullying Kelazhur. He says, no. It's the wide Queen. It just walks slowly forward menacingly, and he's just standing there menacingly, and well,
I want to see some wide Queen memes of it just walking down a hallway with like the doofiest music in the background.
I can't believe we haven't had that yet. StarCraft's been around for 12 years now, and I don't think I've ever seen that particular iteration of the wide X meme. So I mean, we've seen like wide Mark and wide Hero Marine, but no wide Queen.
I would love wide Queen. I think that's great. Ooh, look at this little concave. Ooh. That was really nice from Elazer, making sure that he absolutely blocked that. But Kelazhur, quick reaction time, does get out of there. I do want to point something out that Elazer does in most of his CVTs these days. So most players will inject the main hatchery and use the Queen at the natural to spread creep. But Elazer injects the natural hatchery and spreads creep from the Queen in the main, and what that does is it saves you the transfer time from sending your drones down from the main to the natural with that first set of 3 larvae. So it's just a little bit of efficiency. I think he's the only Zerg that I've seen do it consistently, and it's just a little way that he optimizes his play. So just a cool little thing that Elazer does. Oh my goodness, he gets into the main base with the Ling Scout. Phenomenal scout for Elazer. He sees everything. He sees no tech lab on the starport. He sees the 3rd command center. He sees everything you could want to see. Excellent scout from Elazer.
He sees everything on day to see.
Under to see.
Yeah, they're right.
On day to see. Yeah, we're gonna be doing this all day.
This is eventually gonna get boring for us, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna get boring for everyone watching a lot faster than it's gonna get annoying for us. So sorry about that, folks, but no helping it. It's just
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry either. But here come the Hellions. How many Lings do we have on the map for Elazer right now? It's only 7 Hellions. They're gonna see this diving into the natural here, and there's such a nice choke for them too with the Baneling nest. The Lings cannot get the surface area they're looking for. 3 workers go down, make it 4. Elazer slow on the pull as well. Line them up. 7 workers go down, and they're still chasing it down even more. But Hellions into the main base here. More Lings arrive. And it feels like, Elazer took a wrong turn there, right around to the natural. Feels like you just chase him into the 3rd, and that's more damage. But I don't know, the promise of a untapped main base is a little bit too enticing for the man.
Yeah, he also Liberator in the main base will get away. I think he got one drone. Yeah, one drone. Not so bad. But did take a lot of damage, so not so good either. Oh, it's that flower again that looks like Banelings. Yeah, that was. He actually hit himself with his own grenade there that really separated the Hellions and allowed the Lings to get a very, very easy cleanup. I don't think there's any more drone damage that comes down, but being able to clean up the Lings or clean up the Hellions without losing any more Lings is really, really nice for Elazer. After taking a lot of damage, getting such an efficient cleanup after that really takes the sting out of that damage. And because he YOLO'd those Hellions, there's going to be nothing that really stops this creep from pushing forward for the next couple of minutes. Well, next minute or so.
Yeah, and it's funny, you know, we talk about map control all the time, how important it is and the agency on the map, but you're right, Steadfast. It is incredibly important here. Now,
I shook those upgrades into existence.
Well done, man. Shout out to our Observer Steadfast, also Caster Steadfast for, you know, doing both things, but shout out to Observer Steadfast as, well, you're able to make that happen. We do need to point out that Kelazhur, his 1-1 upgrades will be done quicker, but he is not setting himself up for any sort of significant push timing, as he's already got his 4th base on the way. He wants to take this game late. This is something we've started to see Terrans do a little bit more and more. Maru has really been the one that's been pushing this style. Ryung a little bit as well, although not nearly to the same effect. Liberators really don't get all that much done. Viking, well, not going to get much either. But this has been a really big Bjorn Maru idea as of late. Now here comes the Widow Mines. Okay, he's not going to get much of anything there, and Kelazhur forced out. Meanwhile, big Baneley run by into the natural here, the 3rd base of Kelazhur. Is he paying attention? Oh, SCVs. Okay, looks like the SCVs are going to be fine. Good splits there from Kelazhur, and at most he gets like 2 SCVs. Oh, there we go. Good splits.
Those were some great splits. Those were really, really phenomenal under the gun.
We're so worried there for a second on those SCVs. They got pulled onto one mineral patch, and I'm like,
oh, no. No, please don't. Commander? Commander? Go to this mineral patch. Okay, Commander. I can smell the acid from here.
Can we talk about how problematic the Terran race is? It's like, yeah, you know, we can build these robots that mine minerals more efficiently, and they're robots, so there's no human capital involved. And instead, it's like, no, we're gonna sacrifice like 100 people a game, or we're not. Maybe, you know, however many how many SCVs you lose in a game. We're gonna sacrifice people instead of these robots that we can kind of build actually for free. What a cruel domination of the Kaprulu sector that becomes.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. Elazer really trying to get some work done. He is gonna actually be able to just dance in and dance on out, dance all day. So I guess nice job there, but I mean, he is keeping his opponent at home. Oh, once again, we are going to be seeing this +1 missile and +2 carapace. Oh, big Widowmine connection here, stopping this Ling run by even just. Those are optimistic Banelings we say right there.
Oh, well, okay, there we go.
Okay, he does clean it up. Wouldn't have mattered anyways, theoretically. But I mean, if you smash up, you know, 15 SCVs and then run in with 3 or 4 Zerglings. There's a planetary, so it probably wouldn't have gotten anything done. But, like, you don't want to give away a free Baneling hit on a bunch of SCVs.
And now here comes Kelazhur into this 5th base of a Elazer, and it's just not going to work out. Big Baneling connections there and on the backside. Lings actually, they're going to say, okay, they're going to engage, but yeah, Elazer was even
he didn't even need the flank, yeah.
But,
he just smashed that push.
I mean, Steadfast, realistically, though, Kelazhur's not playing for that push. You know, he's got his 4th base up already. We're going to see a 5th planet, or a 5th base coming up rather soon. You know, drilling claws are not done. 2-2's not done. Kelazhur is playing for that late game setup, which if you get there, you get up to maybe 15, you get up to 20 ghosts, you start moving into mech upgrades. As Mario has shown us, that's where it starts to feel really broken if you are a Terran. And on a map like Data C, where it's really easy to get your core 4, it makes a lot of sense. On the flip side, though, it's really, I mean, shout out to Elazer versus Protoss yesterday. It's so hard to get a 5th base. Elazer's done a good job of it in this matchup because Kelazhur has been rather passive. But I think as we start to see Kelazhur get more and more aggressive as he takes his 5th base, gets his 2-2 done, moves into 3-3, and oh, that's a nice snap. Couple queens. Well, actually, only one queen are going to go down. Baneling connections as well. Kelazhur's going to have to pick up good Widow Mines on the backside to clean up some of that army. Drop on the west side here as well. Kelazhur really starting to turn up the taps. 9 workers go down. He could get more, but he's just not microing because he's got to deal with his army on the left side. More bio comes rolling on in. Stimming on in here, but Banelings and Hydras and everything else. So this should get cleaned on up here. There's actually just not enough medevacs. And 11 workers for the damage that Kelazhur got. I don't think you'll want to lose that much bio.
I don't think so either. Oh, we are going to see Banes trying to come on in once again. There is a Widowmine here. Split. Okay, he does. Oh. Well, that was kind of funny. They targeted the Banes in the back. Elazer is such a... it's, you know, always look on the bright side kind of player. He's like, yeah, I'll burrow these right in front of your eyes. What are you going to do? See it? And then Kelazhur's like, well, yeah. And he's like, oh.
I mean, maybe he doesn't.
All right.
Okay.
And maybe he doesn't. Yeah. It's just, oof. Widowmine does get a big connection. Only one of the 4 going off, though. That's actually still very good. Oh, the single burrowed Bane. The Moon Baneling. The least effective tool in all of StarCraft 2.
It's like he leaves. It's like, I'm going to flick you. Like, that didn't kill you? Dread. Okay, well, we got to keep going here. Elazer now runs forward, and we are starting to see ghosts on the way. And here's the interesting thing, actually. We got a fusion core on the way, even before, say mech upgrades and before tank upgrades. So, looks like Kelazhur does want to move into just heavy Liberator play in this game, which, hey, against a bunch of lurkers, it can be fine. But it is always interesting. If Elazer just chooses to play on a heavier Lingbane setup, Liberators, they don't really do much against anything other than say lurkers, and maybe Hydras too, but Hydras, they can actually fire back.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know if this is the best map for ranged Liberators. Ooh, nice job right there from Elazer. Baits out those 2 Widowmines. Good job. And now on the top side, this is a really tight little hallway to push into. You got to be very careful, but at the same time, pushing out of this hallway into lurkers is very prohibitive. If Elazer can put a spore or 2 up here and then just parks the lurkers a little bit further forward, that feels like a death hallway for the Terran. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the way that Elazer does his upgrades. It's very interesting to me. So normally we see 1-1 melee, 2-2 melee, and then as you get up to Hive, you get +3 carapace, +1 missile. Then you go into +2 missile, +3 melee. But instead, Elazer has gotten to a situation where he's going to be on 2-2-2 for his ground. And if he starts up a 3rd Evo chamber, he theoretically would max out on his 3-3-3 upgrades a lot faster than normal. So if he decides to go that route, I do like it.
Steadfast, it's okay. You don't need to justify your stutter. So now he's on the left side.
If I actually had a stutter, that'd be so mean. But like, that's pretty funny. I like that.
Okay, but now here comes the Elazer, and he's got this time with a bunch of lurkers on the field looking to bowl down the Terran before he gets critical ghost count. Oh, those ghosts gotta be so careful. What was that, 3-4 going down, but now here come the lurkers, and there's not a lot to buffer for them for the moment, but it looks like Kelazhur, he also doesn't feel confident just yet. He's got to run forward, getting some snipes down, getting Overseers, knocking them off at the very least. But he doesn't have a good flank of these ghosts, so it's really hard to make sure things stay alive, as now the 3rd base is starting to burn down here. But okay, now he's not. He's still not able to clear this off. This is the timing that Elazer has been building into this entire game. He's got 2-2-2, 3-3-3 is on the way, but 2-2-2 with Banes and Hydras and Lurkers before Kelazhur's really ready. Well, he's doing a great job of denying economy at the very least.
And Kelazhur is not really approaching this the way you need to. You need to come in from multiple angles with the ghosts, but he's just stacking them up from the same direction, and they keep having their snipes canceled. I know it's easier said than done, but like, the technique is known here. Oh, he does snipe the Overseer right here. That means no detection. But there's no ghost cloaking, so it doesn't even matter. We are going to see, the Lings and Banes rolling on forward. Ghosts are super clumped up on the left. There's not enough Banes to take them all down, but they will suffer a lot of damage right there. 10 SCVs do go down. The Lurkers pushing this base all the way back, and this siege tank is not going to hit the field. Oh, and even gets a couple of Widow Mines due to some coincidental splat. No, never mind. He does have vision now. He's got that Overseer.
Man, Steadfast is actually so unfortunate there. It takes 6 Banelings to kill a ghost. I think that was 5. So we saw a bunch of ghosts get pretty damn low. But it doesn't matter if they don't die. So, yes, Kelazhur did lose that position, but he was able to really fight back pretty nicely afterwards. We're going to see Kelazhur take the upper, or at least attempt to take the upper left base as he retakes where that orbital now is, and now Elazer moving left, trying to knock down this planetary. Banelings, they roll. This is not enough Banes to kill off the planetary. Certainly it is enough to kill off most of the SCVs there, but the Lings are not going to get what they need. Snipes on the backside. When we get to this level of a Terran army, you cannot run away from it ever. Ghost Snipes, they say, we drop scans, your army dies on the retreat. So you got to be very confident in how that's going to go. How many lurkers do we have on the field right now? Actually, it's only 2. Wait a minute. Elazer's lost all of his lurkers here. Banelings are on the way. More lurkers are on the way, but Kelazhur, this pushing position that he has is really problematic now for Elazer. He says, okay, well, I'm just going to counterattack. Other side, 5 workers have gone down. What is happening? Is that just, Lings into that base? We're just going to have to see the orbital get lifted. 12 SCVs have gone down. But this pushing position from Kelazhur, he should be able to knock this base down, but here come the lurkers once again. And watch the army evaporate there. It's 3 units, but still, it's kind of scary.
I actually don't know if lurkers were the right call in that situation. If Kelazhur had held the position with the number of snipes available, I might have just preferred to see a ton of Banes being built and just stay on Hydraling Bane. We are going to see a lot of the Liberators being basically abandoned there. That's kind of a big mistake from Kelazhur. Some nice snipes on the backfield, which is obviously quite nice. Oh, Banelings. Looks like they tried to blow up the planetary, but with no SCVs, he's just going to be able to finish it off with Lings. And that is pretty big. This Ling run by is still causing a ton of problems. Elazer has been using Burrow to be a real nuisance so far. So he's one of the players that still uses Burrow, and I think recognizes the utility of it. So I like to see that. Kelazhur is very much on the back foot. Elazer still has a bank. Kelazhur is broke as a joke right now after the loss of that base. Ooh, okay. He's got to be careful though. Elazer, I don't know about pushing up this ramp.
Yeah, it's a big concave and the good scan as well. So we're going to see these lurkers start to fall, but the bio's getting so damn low here as well. There's no flank. Looks like Widowmine got a great shot on the backside, but what are we looking at lurker count? It's now 6, but the Banelings, this is such a problem now. Kelazhur locked back onto 3 bases. I mean, sure, he's got some extra orbitals. We're going to see the optimistic Banelings to block a base. Sure, no. That's not going to happen, but now I was about to say, we're on 15 ghosts. Kelazhur is in as long as he's able to kind of maintain, he's going to have insane efficiency, but now that he's only on 3 bases effectively, he's going to take an orbital at the 4th. It is starting to become, just look at the income here. It's triple the mineral income for Elazer that it is for Kelazhur right now. So it feels like Kelazhur's got to find some way to put pressure on a base to find some level of commensurate damage. But with this creep spread, I'm not sure he can.
No, it's going to be extremely difficult. He never actually even killed this base on the left side. I didn't even realize he just left it alive for no real reason.
Oh no.
He gets 2 kills with it. Oh, the optimism Baneling finally comes through for Elazer. It's not cost efficient, but it makes me smile. Oh, I do like this Liberator setup. Liberator Ghost is so difficult to deal with as a composition. Oh, the snipe's going to come on in. There is so many Banelings here, though, and those Ghosts without support are going to have a really difficult time dealing with this.
That there. So finally, actually not even, the Lurker's just doing too damn much here. Banes, they come rolling on in. Good snipes on a lot of these Hydras, but the Ghosts, they kind of run away. They say, oh no. And it's just going to be not enough here. Kelazhur loses everything. He's got 20 Ghosts, but for the first time in a while, 20 Ghosts do not mean the Terran wins the game. Elazer up 1.
Yeah, a very wild back and forth game. But ultimately, Elazer does take it down. I say back and forth only in terms of the tempo. It felt like Elazer had a pretty strong grasp on that game for most of it. It felt like he did for most of it. Kelazhur had his moments. I do want to note, by the way, you were talking about like he wasn't setting up for this big push, like he was setting up for the late game. He did kind of commit in very early before his 2-2 completed, and that left him a little bit. It meant that the push didn't trade as well as it could have. So a couple of missteps from Kelazhur. Good job from Elazer to punish, exposing himself as he's trying to get in position for like 2-2 pushes, etc. But yeah, Kelazhur got to be a little bit more careful, I think, with his army overall. And unfortunately, we didn't see that. And Elazer takes a really great game number 1.
I think we can put a lot of this game down, actually, to Kelazhur. He had himself set up that really strong pushing position with Liberators and Ghosts and everything else on the left side. And then the run by forces his entire army back, but he doesn't deal with the run back. He also doesn't get the base and doesn't kill the 20 workers at their 16 workers or whatever it was at the base. So he takes economic damage. He had himself set up for actually doing equalizing damage, but instead he decides to run back home. And then it really did feel like it kind of snowballed from there. Elazer was able to run across the map with 9 lurkers. He hit the timing with his 2-2-2, 3-3-3, all those things. And eventually it did just kind of snowball out of control for the Team Liquid Zerg. But Steadfast, another game is another shot at victory. Also another shot at defeat, technically. But we're going to choose to be optimistic here as we find our way into Moondance for game number 2. Let's see whether Kelazhur can make it happen, or whether it will in fact be an Elazer 2-0. In the bottom right here, he's up 1, looking dominant in the first game for Team Liquid, Elazer.
And his opponent looking to strike back. For Team Liquid as well, it is Kelazhur in the blue. And I think he's going to be going for also a 3-Rax Reaper or a 2-Rax Reaper. We'll see in just a moment. This is kind of bizarre, I gotta say. I feel like every Terran player has done this on this map pretty much. It feels like it's been like 80% of the games. It is a short rush distance map. You know, there are some decent jump-in points, but it doesn't feel like it's that great of a map for 3-Rax Reaper. I feel like I must be missing something, because so far it hasn't won any games on this map, whereas we saw Thermal actually win a game on he won a game on Stargazers. It wasn't because of the 3-Rax Reaper, but it certainly got some good work done.
Yeah, at least paid for itself, right? It equalized the game state.
Yeah.
You know, you are by default putting yourself behind by going for any sort of early aggression, and it is incumbent upon the aggressive player to equalize things and maybe even win the game. But you know, considering how when I look at this map pool, and then I talk to pro Zergs as well, they talk about how much of a Terran pool this is. There are a lot of short rush distances, lots of chokes. We talk about inside and out. I mean, there's a reason we're seeing these Beyond going for these all-ins. I mean, it didn't work versus Elazer, but we are seeing players like Beyond go for those 5-Rax 2-base all-ins. It's just so strong. There's so many. It's so short, and there's so many chokes. It is surprising to see Terran players lean into this 3-Rax Reaper play. Again, just considering how good the pool, on top of maybe us not understanding what is here, is okay, nice spore on that one. But it just feels the pool in general is really good for Terran on a macro sense too, so I'm not really sure.
My brain just did you're steadfast, you're dumb. And I just, nice pickoff. He does get a drone right there. I just realized what it is. So by walling the front, you're effectively securing 3 bases. So I guess that's the big advantage. And I mean, I say I guess, but that's literally the only thing that makes sense on this map. So that's quite literally pretty much has to be it. The thing is, I feel like you can do that with 2-Rax Reaper maybe and still be okay. We're going to see some nice grenades right there, and this one queen is low on HP but high on energy. Ooh, it wants to transfuse. Hello, Elazer. Okay, actually, he's just going to push the 4 Reapers back, so this is going to be fine for him. Lane speed, though, is going to finish up at that 330 timing, and Kelazhur needs to be extremely careful. If he is... this might actually be too late already. Okay, no, okay, as long as he pulls back, he should be okay. He needs to be very, very careful, and he needs to stick close to cliffs.
It is. I gotta say, I'm surprised to see the continuous Reaper production here. Now Lings, they're looking for it. Look at how spread the Lings get off those KDA charges. And yeah, Kelazhur's gonna be able to get on out. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised to see the continuous Reaper production even after that 330 timing. But Kelazhur, I really did think he was gonna stop, but no. 3 Reapers still on the way is behind this. You talked about it. You kind of get 2 bases for free on this map. And of course, the pocket third is much more powerful for Terrans on this map than it is for any other race, because mules do kind of equalize the resource gain differential a little bit. And Terrans care less about gas in the mid game. But Kelazhur, he is really leaning into the Mark Schlappy idea. More and more Reapers are on the way. He's up at 12, or he's up at 11, going up to 12 rather soon. Does he just drop an eBay and go into +1? I mean, I can't imagine. And there we go. We're going to see some reactors, some tech labs go down. That is a really unfortunate tech lab positioning on this map with as well, though.
Well, he does actually put the tech lab in the main, but still the reactors are extremely exposed. Yeah, this is kind of a funky scenario here. We are going to be seeing double NG Bay behind us. Elazer, we have to mention, he didn't drone for a really, really long time. So he was actually looking to get the surround on those Reapers. And Kelazhur, the fact that he was able to get such great grenades on the way out and able to escape on out with those Reapers is very significant. It did, of course, delay his tech a lot, but he gets the 1-1 very, very quickly. Elazer will scout the timing of that double NG Bay, and he's going to say, oh, okay, so this is how we're doing things, huh? Kelazhur, oh man, you gotta be so careful with these Reapers. His grenades need to be almost perfect. He's actually gonna jump up into the main base. Oh, this is actually kind of scary right now for Elazer. But Kelazhur, he's just gonna disengage. He's just gonna disengage. He's like, actually, you know what? I don't want to play with fire. Fire is scary. Doesn't know if his opponent has a bunch of Banes or something like that.
I mean, Steadfast, I don't know why he would want to play with a bunch of fire. Literally, we're seeing 2 streams of fire come out of the backpack of every Reaper. So, I mean, by definition, he is anyways. What's a little bit more burnination on the countryside? But in fairness, though, to Kelazhur, these Reapers do represent actually significant threat as the game does go on. If Kelazhur pushes right side onto the 4th base of Elazer, say, with that really power... We don't even see double Ebo on the way. There is a world, depending on whether Kelazhur stays on top of his armory timing, his 2-2 timing, there is a world now where Kelazhur may be able to find himself up 4 upgrades on the Zerg player. And again, that's minutes down the path. That's minutes down the pipe. But even still, if Kelazhur is, say, pushing with 1-1 on the right side onto that 4th base, you run, what is it, 11 Reapers? 13 Reapers into your opponent's main while everything else is happening, and that just represents a dead mineral line. You're one-shotting two drones at any given time, and that becomes scary. Or you do this. Baneling Nest is not done. This is actually an incredibly powerful army coming out of Kelazhur.
Yeah, it's got stim, no combat shields, but it will have 1-1, no medevacs, but so many Reapers and the grenades. Yeah, this is actually going to force his opponent away from the base. He's going to find so many drones with the Reapers. The Reapers are running so much down. Now, I think he's pushing way too far into creep. He needs to get the hell off creep. Bane speed is done. This army could evaporate.
Steadfast, the Baneling Nest is done. Baneling speed has not even been started yet.
Oh.
We're going to have to see how good the splits are here. Good surround. Actually, the KDA charge is giving him a bit of a split, but there's the surround. It's all going down. And I feel like he should have just killed the 3rd backed up.
Yep, 100%. And he could have easily done so. He did not need to push that far into creep. Yeah, I don't know why I thought Baneling speed was done. I think I was thinking of literally game 1. I don't know why I thought Bane speed was done. Obviously, it was not. That was such a huge overcommitment from Kelazhur for realistically no good reason. He got so much done, and this is a problem that he's had throughout his entire career. Is he is an extremely aggro player, a YOLO player. We called him the YOLO Terran 6-7 years ago, and you know, he was ride or die by that. And sometimes it worked really, really well for him, and a lot of times it worked like that, where he has himself a really nice position and he just overcommits so massively, and that really lets Elazer back into this game now.
Man, I'm looking at that. I'm like, oh man, why don't we see this build more often? It seems really strong. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe that's why. But in fairness, that very much was a setup where it should have worked out for Kelazhur so well. But sometimes your eyes, they're bigger than your stomach here. Now Kelazhur, he's gonna get a couple Banes, sure, and knock off some Lings. Next timing we're looking at is gonna be 2-2 versus, I think, briefly 0-0, but pretty quickly 1-1 after that. I don't know that Kelazhur's gonna hit like a 5-second timing, but he is in the main base now. Banelings are not here just yet, even if Baneling speed is done, but he's gonna get a spore and back out, maybe opening up the path for a drop later on. But Steadfast, you said it. Elazer was in a terrible spot. He lost 10 workers. He should have lost that 3rd base. And like, okay, well, 3-base Terran versus 3-base Zerg is never what you want. But now, Elazer, he's got a pretty solid setup on his 4 bases. He's sitting on 73 workers. His 1-1 is going to be done. In fact, it will be done ahead of the upgrades of Kelazhur. So no 4 upgrade timing, even for 5 seconds. And yeah, Elazer now, he's going to take his free 5th. Yes, Kelazhur set himself up for that 3/3, but now Elazer 5-base Zerg. You'll take that one.
Oh, you absolutely do. You absolutely do. You take that and you run. is is what you do. We're gonna be again with the +1 missile. And it's funny because he does this before the Hydra Den is finished on up. But as I say that, he starts up the Hydra Den. And I mean, the upgrades don't take effect until they're done anyways. So even if you've committed to that tech path, as long as you have Hydras out by the time the +1 missile completes, it is worthwhile. Nice target fire once again from Kelazhur. I keep wanting to call him Kelazhur because it's Elazer, and my brain just wants to do that, but obviously that's not what his name is. Little push on the right side. I don't know. Ooh, he gets a queen. That's kind of nice.
We're going to get 2 queens and maybe even more. And we got to point out, the crease spread around this 4th base is not all that great. Look at the splits here coming in from You're making me do it too. From Kelazhur here. And now, okay, yeah, the Banelings are a little too strong, so they're going to force him on back. But Steadfast, the benefit of when we talk about Kelazhur is the fact that if we say, what a fight from Kelazhur, well, we're not wrong. We're also not right, but we're not wrong.
I live my life on not being wrong. You know, it's not about being right. It's about minimizing the risk. You know, you just gotta live on the margin. That is so many Widow Mines on this right side. Oh, please don't hit just before Julian Claws and lose them all. They are super clumped up right now. Okay, there we go. He is gonna split them at least a little bit. Baneling's gonna look to roll forward. Oh, bit of a friendly mind drag right there, an unfriendly mind drag. Ooh, Banelings are gonna, actually some pretty decent-ish splits from Elazer. He's got to be careful right now. It is 0-1 Hydras versus 2-2 Marines. This is a scary situation.
And there were no Banelings there for a second, but now Banelings roll in. Oh, he's gonna pick up the last second there. One last Widow Mine.
There's like no Banes. Oh, Lynx.
Yeah, okay,
there's a little bit too much bio, but the Banes will come forward and clean this up. Kelazhur is just parade pushing this, though. Elazer might not be able to stop him, and now this drop on the bottom side. Elazer's been forced to send everything away from this base. He is going to have to give up one base or another.
And Steadfast, we got to remember that base. I mean, yeah, it's not a ton of damage, but was softened up from earlier. Look at the supply, though. Kelazhur with 2-2. He's up 50 supply in the Marauders. They're going to take everything. Folks, we do get a game 3. Kelazhur wins. Actually, Kelazhur wins, and we're going to move into game 3.
Nicely done right there from Kelazhur. Really, really solid moves. Obviously, we were critical of that overcommitment with the Reapers and the Marines, and it was not a great move. It was a really, really big overcommittal. But he was still able to get damage done before that. He was still in a good spot from the early game because he'd forced so many Lings earlier than that. That was still a really good game from Kelazhur, and, you know, with a couple of slight decision-making changes, that goes from being a really good game to a phenomenal game.
It really, really does. Now, Steadfast, we're going to move into Inside and Out for map 3, a map that is very short, that we've seen Terran players going for a lot of 2-base aggression, and Kelazhur has showed us that he's got some interesting ideas stored away in that big brain of his. Right now, right behind his recipe for, I don't know, for how to make the best scrambled eggs. He got it stored right in there. He's going to unlock that one. And if there's a map, if there is a map you want to pull out something weird on, it feels like Inside and Out is a prime candidate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think 2-base pushes are going to be really good here. Sorry, I had to mute myself for just a second. Got a very violent sneeze that came in the middle. Got a little bit of Chicken Man action there. Yeah, this was a really, really interesting map yesterday, and I think the tank positions around those rocks are really. You talked about it a little bit earlier, but I just want to reiterate how good some of those tank spots are. And it's not just that particular tank spot. There's another tank spot behind a bridge that is going to be extraordinarily difficult to deal with. I feel like this is going to be one of the maps where tanks are going to be king for Terran.
They really will be. And folks, by the way, I do have an update on things. It looks like Showtime, he 2-0'd Nice, so he's on through, and I think that's fair. Showtime has been looking really good. Just unfortunately, you know, he ran into DRG twice, and he did take a map off him, so that's something. Also, Shadow's up 1, and Nightmare Spirit. Well, Spirit versus Protoss is a fantastic shout out to Spirit versus Nice from Katowice. We always get some really fun games there. So they're 15 minutes into game 1. And it looks like that's going to be what's holding up the knockout bracket because Spirit, his wins and his losses, they come dearly against Protoss, generally just the way he likes to play.
Yes. He is one of those players that will... He's almost more of a Spoon Terran than the Spoon Terran. He is almost more of a... almost more patient than his opponent.
Which is, yes, yeah, regardless of how patient his opponent is like, I can do it. I can one-up you.
I can be more patient, yeah.
Anything you can do, I can do better. But, one thing that maybe we can do better than that other thing is get into game number 3, because it's ready for us, folks, inside and out. I'll twist it all around. In the upper right, he took a fantastic game 1, and 13 Reapers were maybe his downfall in the second. For Team Liquid, it's Elazer.
And his opponent saying, I don't care about tank positions. How about Marine positions? Spawning down on the bottom left for Team Liquid, it is Kelazhur. Looking to say, I'm not retired, you're retired. I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna win this game. I'm gonna advance to the next round. He's doing this proxy 2 racks, and this is the kind of thing I would really not expect on a map like this, because as we were pointing out, tank position right here hits the hatchery. Tank positions right here, terrifying to clean up. Tank positions right here, tank positions here. There's so many good tank spots on this map. This is even a tank position kind of nestled in against these rocks. I also really like the position of these barracks. Anytime that a map pool is new, it's going to feel kind of a little bit counterintuitive to go for this. What do you think about the decision to go proxy 2 racks in game number 3?
It seems like there's something Terrans know about Elazer. All right, because we saw, it feels like every TVZ I've seen Elazer play, it feels like it's been done to him, and he's actually held decently well. But we do, of course, notice that he's not even trying to scout possible proxy locations. I guess he doesn't have a good understanding of that just yet. So he says, you know what? Overlord a little bit further forward. I'm going to make sure I don't lose it. I'm going to see when SCVs come in, if they do come in. But we do have to talk about, of course, the win condition of this style, and the bunker is almost never... Oh, actually, wait a minute here. That bunker may complete this time. The drone's not... Oh. Wait, no. The bunker completes. That's a big problem if Kelazhur is ever going to be allowed to find his way back in there once again. But the win condition here is killing drones. And already getting 4 is such a big deal. The bunker does complete, and now here come the Marines. But there are plenty of links here on the map where we're going to have... we got to have a salvage, and we're not going to have that. So the bunker, that's just 100 minerals down the drain. That's a wonderful thing here for Lasers. Only 4 workers do go down. Marines can't run forward. It feels like this has kind of been smashed. I was worried how 4 workers going down. It feels like maybe something's going to happen, but Elazer handles this with aplomb.
Yeah, very, very well done from Elazer. His Overlord is super late at 28, though. That is a really, really big problem for him. He doesn't inject... Oh, my God. He's actually sitting on 4 larvae right now. Yeah, 3 larvae. 3 larvae right now. That is... that really hurts. That's going to cut into his ability to drone out of this. Kelazhur is going to stop building Marines at... What is this? He's got 7 Marines right now on the map. With 2 Queens... Yeah, Elazer's fine. He didn't even have to delay his ling speed that much. This is a great position from Elazer, despite taking quite a few drone losses. I really like Elazer's position. Kelazhur, particularly not being able to salvage that bunker, hurts a lot.
Have you ever thought about how much of a weird word salvage is? Like, salvage is doing to me, like, so, you know how sometimes you'll say a word a bunch of times in a row, and at a certain point it loses all meaning?
Yeah.
Salvage is like, it's doing that to me right now, and I only said it once. I'm like, wait, am I saying this right? Like, is that actually the word? Like, we're not talking about like salvage denim. Like, what is this? I don't know. I'm just lost. I've lost the meaning of the word salvage. I feel like the L should be silent, but that's just savage. I've lost all meaning of word steadfast, and it's not even 5. It's not even 6 a.m. yet.
Yeah, we are. We're in for a long day, to say the very, very least. We're going to try and salvage this conversation.
Oh, God.
As we've got a medevac drop. It's actually going to be Marines in the medevac drop and a Hellion run by at the front. This will be scary to deal with. Elazer is prepared for the potential of a Hellion drop here. But, he's going to probably lose this Overlord. Yeah, that's actually a pretty brutal loss. Fortunately for him, he does have a couple of kind of Elazer lords on the way. So he was already at a 76 cap supply, so he's actually okay. Preemptively building 1 or 2 of those, and good. That's one of those situations where you're really happy to have that extra overlord. So far, this is looking pretty decent. Ooh, Hellions are going to step forward onto creep. They're just looking for some creep tumors to find, but Kelazhur's not going to be able to find anything here. Elazer, he's doing a good job, and I really like that he spread creep covering the main, anticipating the potential of a drop into the main as a follow-up.
So Steadfast, how do you feel about the addition of a delayed Liberator? He got the medevac early for pressure, and I know it's hard to say anything is delayed or on time because this did start with the 2 racks, so all your standard game timings are a bit messed up, but I'm talking about in terms of, well, you got a medevac, then you add a Liberator later on. That almost makes it feel like it's going to be some sort of Hellbat plays. Ooh, nice job there, catching all the lings. And he's going to, nope, Creep Tumors? Creep Tumors, there we go. So he's going to get those back on out. But, I mean, it does feel like getting this Liberator delayed as it is feels a bit weird.
It does feel a little bit weird. Speaking of delayed, I actually really like this delayed Hellion drop, where he waits until he clears a bunch of lings and then goes in. He's going to find so much damage with this, and now paired up with the Liberator at the natural, he is getting some really good work done. 10 drone kills across these 2 bases, and Kelazhur has equaled up the worker count. Ooh, he doesn't want to lose this medevac, though, and it will escape to the corner, but I think it is...
No, it's not.
He just sends it right back into death. A little bit funny to do that, but I mean, it was trapped anyways. There wasn't really any chance he could get it out. Losing everything, including the Liberator, not exactly great, because the Elazer now actually just drones back up so quickly, but that was some really good damage initially.
Steadfast, I do have to point out that Trap was not able to leave Korea for this event, so, you know, nothing is getting trapped here. He's not able to play.
Got him.
With that, here comes the push from Kelazhur, finding his way on the other side. He has stim done. Combat shields will be finishing up rather soon. And we look at the army supply here. It's not incredible for Elazer just yet. Yes, he does have a Baneling Nest, but really no Banes. It's only 16 Lings on the field right now. It's going to be all up to these Queens. Now Kelazhur runs forward. He gets 1 Queen, gets 2. He's not going to get 3 good transfuses, but there are no Lings to defend this. This is such a problem here for the team. Liquid Zerg, the Lings, the Queens, they're all falling. And yes, more Lings are on the way, but you're okay with this now. Even if you do got to run away, Kelazhur does. You killed, what was that, 4 queens, 5 queens? You get a lot of Lings.
5 queens.
Oh my.
5 queens, and he got 4 drones on the tail end of that, and that was without combat shields. If the Lings were there, that's totally fine. It doesn't matter that he's outnumbered. The Queens are going to help out so much against uncombat shielded Marines, especially after they stim. They only have 35 HP, but because it was just the Queens with no buffer for them, they just got gunned down so quickly. The transfuses weren't quite as fast as they needed to be. That looked like one of my ladder games where I get stunned by a 2 racks or a 2-on-1 that I scouted a minute and a half earlier and didn't respond to correctly because I'm a nubbin. That was not good for Elazer, and now he is really, really on the back foot. He hasn't been able to drone up significantly. He's only on 57 drones. That is a terrible worker count. He needs to find a really, really good fight in order to be able to drone back up and get himself back up into this game.
A tyrannable drone count? No, we're gonna ignore that one. We're gonna keep going. That's gonna go back to the workshop. But certainly 1-1 is now done. So Kelazhur, he found all that value. He now has an upgrade advantage, but his army supply is not really there just yet. He doesn't have this overwhelming 30 supply, 3 base Terran push going. But there's a big push on the right side. That's just a drop here from Kelazhur on the left. Is Elazer aware of this? Looks like he's rotating on over. He didn't even see it, but the game sense is there. So now here comes Kelazhur trying to stim in, but the Lings, the Banes, they are there. So Elazer should be able to keep his 4th base alive. And Sport in the main base looking to knock down one of these medevacs, and he gets a little bit more damage than it should have necessarily, but, you know, Kelazhur is going to be able to move on out, but Elazer, plenty of time. He's going to be able to deal with this, not taking too much damage. And there we go, medevac on the backside. Bunch of Marines fall, medevac as well. Elazer, at the very least, he's edging towards 70 drones. At least there's that. Yeah,
that was actually a really nice little sequence right there for Elazer. It really, He met the pressure extremely well. That is a brilliant Spore Crawler position. I'm stealing this for this map because it's so scary dealing with like triangle drops. The base is so close to your main. First of all, I love the fact that creep is all the way up in the corner. It covers pretty much every crevice on this main base except for a couple, you know, up here. But that's totally fine. But this Spore Crawler is so good. It makes those little moves that Terran really loves to do a lot more difficult to pull off. Oh, the late pickup. He loses like 6 or 7 Marines right there that he really didn't need to. And now we see Burrowed Banes coming in once again. I'm really starting to like this a lot for Elazer. He's battled back in this game significantly.
You know, Steadfast, one of the story. Oh, more Burrowed Banes on the right side. Okay.
12 kills on that tank, basically just donations.
You know, Steadfast, we've been talking for a while now about how it feels like we're seeing a lot of more old school stuff in this tournament. I mean, we saw Bjorn and Bjorn go for parade push, and we saw other stuff. I forget. But anyways, that was the story for yesterday. Lasers just trying to take it back to 2013. Oh, it doesn't really get much. Like 3 Marines, and now here comes the push to the right side. Yes, gonna force a cancel. Unfortunately, Kelazhur skirting it just a little bit. He's gonna find the one up. Why do you scan there? I guess he's looking for a base.
No. He burrowed those banelings underneath Kelazhur again.
No, he
did it last time.
Okay. I mean, that was
it was on Kelazhur's way out. It was a little while ago, but he remembered. He remembered. Now, what he might not know about is these 2 banelings. These are right outside of his base. This is the kind of thing that could bamboozle you. And he did actually catch 9 Marines on this right side, but it wasn't enough to break the momentum of the push. And this is going to be another cancel on the 5th base. The first one, not too big of a deal. The second one, that one really hurts. That is a long time.
This really is the story of this pool in general. There we go. Kelazhur picks up, runs away. It is, in general, pretty easy to get 4 bases. The 4 base setups on pretty much every map are not all that pushable. Getting that 5th base, though. Not only has this been just a problem with Elazer in every matchup that we've seen, but on this map, on a bunch of others, the 5th base is so far away that even establishing the map control that you need for it is really hard. Also, we got to point out inside and out, Steadfast, you really only have 6 maps or 6 bases available to you as the Zerg, which really, on top of the short rush distance, makes this rather hard for the Zerg as the game does go a little bit later. So Kelazhur, he's solidly on 4 now. He's got a 5th base on the way in the middle. So the damage he's finding, yeah, sure, Elazer's maxed out. Yeah, sure, he's got 2-2, but he doesn't really have a hive idea ready yet. And eventually, Kelazhur, it feels like he's putting himself in a wonderful position to just outscale the Zerg as the game continues to go. I'm sorry, he doesn't have a hive.
I was going to say, yeah, Hive actually just finished up. He hasn't started any upgrades for it. As I say that, though, he starts up Adrenal Glands and the Lurker range upgrade. Oh, my God, he's going to get this base again. For, like, this is the third time. This time, no cancel either. Elazer is really struggling. Now we see creep as it gets repushed in the middle. A high energy queen will go down. This is becoming a really big problem. Oh my goodness, this is actually quite scary at this point. Ooh, more Burrowed Banes. I do like these. I really like these Burrowed Banes. The thing is, Kelazhur is past the point where he's just going to do one big like bio push and try and end the game. He's established quite a while ago that he is going for the late game. He's got Liberators now on the way. Double tank production. His 3-3 is about to complete. No vehicle. Oh no, he does have +1 vehicle weapons. No +2 vehicle weapons. But this is going to be pretty good. I would really like to see Elazer try and take down these rocks on his side. You know, actually, every time you take down rocks, as a Zerg player, it's generally a good thing. And as I say that, he's going after rocks that is going to open up an opening to his opponent's base, so I like that as well. He will try and respread the creep in the middle. He's really got like a ton of creep covering the middle parts of the map, which is great. The problem for him is he's struggling to maintain these outside bases, these corner bases.
I mean, Steadfast, one thing we got to point out here, though, is we don't quite have the ghost count for Kelazhur just yet, and, well, we're starting to see the Lurker upgrades. So, while Elazer cannot get that 5th base, it looks like he's maybe going to get that one on the 3 o'clock position, but it's 14 minutes, and that doesn't feel bad. Oh, good Baneling connections here to start, but the splits on the backside from Kelazhur are going to be fantastic. So he cleans it up, and now he's got a big push into the 4th base. There are more Banes and a 1 defensive Lurker. Good scan, though, and actually, it's not a lot of Banes. Marauders are going to get on top. Marauders, excuse me, you're going to get on top of that one. Now Kelazhur causing significant problems. He says, yeah, sure, fine, take your 5th base. I'm going to go kill your 4th, finally. Yeah, so he's going to find his way on in. Spores are going to go down. Kelazhur, Elazer's trying to make something happen, but again, a fourth base that does go down. Kelazhur looking dominant on the map as the Banelings, they cannot find connections until just now. So great trade from the Kelagod in this game number 3. Elazer maybe not taking the best fights, but Kelazhur is looking really good.
Yeah, this is actually oh my god, and he gets into the main base. These are 3-3 Marines versus 2-2 Lings. Okay, that's an overwhelming number of Lings. He will clean this up now. But he's looking to just trade this out. You talked about not having ghosts. Well, he wanted to trade out that bio, and now he has successfully done so. This tank does have to take a very circuitous route out of the main base to rally up with the others, but this is looking really good now for Kelazhur.
What just happened to Kelazhur's supply? He was at like 175, 180, and now it's at 150.
He just, oh my god, he just lost like 6 ghosts as well. Wait, what? Okay, we gotta go back in time, I think. After this, we gotta look at like 15, 20. Did he just YOLO win a bunch of units? I swear I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I was looking at the minimap too, and it's just suddenly it's like, okay, his supply is gone. I was looking at Bird Banes or something, but 2 Bird Banes do not kill 6 ghosts. So, I mean, we talk about this game state. We talk about how problematic it is for Elazer's the ghosts arrive, but you kill 6 ghosts and you knock Kelazhur down to below 150 supply rather briefly. Maybe that buys him a little bit of time, because now Elazer, he is able to take that 5th base. He's well, I guess he's reestablishing his 4th. He's reestablished that 4th. Did Elazer just try to take upper left and cancel it? I thought I saw a base going down. And
the lurker, the idiot lurker. Oh, idiot lurker is blocking the base. Couple of snipes on some hydras. Always nice to get those pickoffs. 100 minerals, 50 gas times 3, 450. Bing bang boom, snipe snipe snipe. Down they go. Hey, see, here's your problem. You got some hydralisks. I'm just gonna snipe those away. Bang, bang, boom. That'll be 450 minerals. And the Zerg's like, I'm not paying that. And he's like, well, here's the thing. It's already out of your account. Bing, bang, boom. I got it. It's mine. Don't worry about it. Don't talk to me. I'm back off creep. The tanks are gonna protect me.
Steadfast, it's not even 6 a.m. You can't be doing this to me just yet. Give me another couple hours of sanity, please. I beg of you. But good abducts there on... he gets both. Okay.
He was going to get away. I was like, he's going to do it. He's going to Saving Private Ryan that ghost. And then it just got lurker spined in the back. Oof. Terrible way to go down.
Oh, man. Just like, a spine just erupts from the ground and it just transfixes you and stabs you. Oh, man. Does not feel all that great, but Elazer setting up a really nice flank here on this push from Kelazhur, trying to find his way in. And by the way, we got to point out, this is going up to almost 30 lurkers as Elazer has this big setup. But where does he look to go? He has the defensive position on the right side. In fact, he's not going to go for a big flank. Instead, he's going to roll on in. But there's a planetary there, so Bailing's going to waste... Yeah, sure, the Banelings, they do knock the planetary down, but that is a lot of time for the tanks to fire away at these lurkers. But even still, the tanks, 2 of them do go down, but there we go. Snipes are going to go down and everything. You got to run away, but you can't. Oh, scans, they provide so much vision. Actually, no, they do run away. Never mind, I lied. Not the best trade, actually, coming in from Elazer, as now Kelazhur, again, the base sniping man. He's not going to get this one, though. I don't think lurker spines have a lot to say about that one. It gets stam low and a drop later on, but for now, Elazer is going to be able to keep that 6th base alive, but the Terran is going to be able to take that 9 o'clock base pretty damn soon. And it doesn't feel like Elazer has enough of a map position to really justify this or to be happy about things as, oh, big snipes going down. We talked about how it was 25, almost 30 lurkers. Well, now we're looking at 12. The lurker count severely diminished, resources lost count, almost 10,000 resources in favor of Kelazhur.
Yeah, Kelazhur missed a really golden opportunity. Unfortunately, his multitasking failing a little bit there. He could have just clicked down the hatchery and killed it, picked up and gotten on out. Now, obviously, there's a lot going on all at once, but that would have been really, really big. He is still in a phenomenal position, and that trade for Elazer was very bad. He threw away so many Banelings, not even killing the base, just killing a defensive structure of his opponent. I do like these changelings, by the way, from Elazer. There's a lot of them, so they're actually really going to get in on top of this army. And he says there's not enough here. There's no ghost. He will storm forward with some Ling Lurker Hydra, knowing he's able to thanks to those changelings. And this is still a pretty good concave. That tank on the low ground on the right side helping out a lot. But this is going to be a nice follow-up after he cracked that planetary. However, the Ghost will come back in here. Very good parasitic bomb on the medevacs. Oh, please, split. No, he's not splitting. Oh, yeah, he's going to lose like 3 or 4 medevacs. Oh my god, it gets the full duration on basically every medevac right there. That was a lot of damage. And Elazer actually finds the opening I think that he needed to kind of crack this game wide open.
Ah, man, Steadfast, that was the opposite of a split. In fact, he just clumped them together. So now third base does get broken. And realistically, knocking down the mining or knocking down 15 SCVs at this base, really not the most important thing. As it's really, oh, look at this on the right side. All the tanks were left behind because Kelazhur was in a bit of a panic mode trying to make sure he could go defend that position. This was, what is it? 13 tanks have died in the last, what was the timing on the battle report? 13 tanks going down the last 3 minutes, and now another one will fall. So Elazer find a wonderful pushing position. The Baneling, okay, it doesn't get much. 2 Banelings at this point in the game do really not do all that much for you. But, man, he has knocked down so much of the tech of Kelazhur's army now.
Yeah, and now the fact that his base did not go down on the top left means that Elazer has been able to mine out just a little bit more minerals. Obviously, he would have rebuilt it, but the fact that he was able to continuously mine there is a really big deal because now he might just barely have the resources to break through before Kelazhur can max back out. Kelazhur is on a huge army supply, but his ghost count, his tank count have been reset pretty heavily. Now pushing into the Liberators, I don't know if this is the best move. This Bioforce is going to be very, very difficult to crack. The medevacs are so low on HP, but the Parasitic Bomb does not hit them. Lurkers, though, are going to force everything back, and I think Elazer has actually broken through these SCVs. Oh no, SOS is not going to be able to save them. Save our souls, more like send them to the Shadow Realm. And Lurkers are going to be able to deal with these ghosts trying to push up a ramp. Kelazhur has consistently been unable to get the spread he needs to get those snipes off. Against this number of Lurkers, though, you're never going to be able to get those snipes.
Elazer, he comes storming back. His resources lost count. It's a little better now, but it was 12K. He was getting battered around the map. It took until about 15 minutes for him to get a 5th base, but sometimes you find the opening, and the Queen's actually doing such a great job. You talk about attacking the Liberators. Well, Liberator, singular, and the Queens were able to knock that one down. Elazer, he's going to be able to knock down, actually with the Hydras here, he's going to maybe even be able to set this one on fire, and as the Ghosts, they run forward, but you talk about it, even still with that choke, it's really hard to get the split, even if you are able to do it a little bit better than Kelazhur is. So Kelazhur, he is now broke as a joke, as you did said. Well, I guess to paraphrase Roddy, he has no money. His income, really not all that great. Now Elazer, yeah, sure, he's not really able to take a base from his opponent as you really want to do in this split map state, but these Lurkers are almost untouchable. And there we go. He's going to take the 9 o'clock position. Tank's going to run on forward, scans on top of these Lurkers, and it will force back for the moment. But Elazer has a bank. Kelazhur has none. 3-3-3 on the way. Actually, 3-3-3 done for both players here. But now that pocket position has truly been broken, the creep spread is so nice. Elazer can rotate right side. He can start to knock down one of the less tapped mining bases of Kelazhur. And if Kelazhur loses bottom right, well, really will be all over but the crying. Now here come the Lings, the Lurkers on the right side, knocking down a couple ghost tanks. They get picked up, but at this point, let's be real, Steadfast, it is all about those ghosts as the Lurkers again find their way on in. More tanks, they continue to fall. Steadfast, what can Kelazhur do here? It feels so hard for the man.
That's the thing. He needs to rely on Elazer making a mistake. He needs to turtle up one of his bases and hope to God that Elazer over pushes. Once again, okay, this time he does actually manage to take down a couple of Lurkers and push his opponent back. Even the creep at this point is encroaching so far in on Kelazhur's side of the map. We are going to see Lings, Banes, Hydras coming in. This is what I was looking for. I was going to point it out, is I would love to see a bust on this base. Kelazhur needed to prevent this, and with this going down, the hope is starting to fade for the Brazilian Terran here. He even loses the additional command center that was lifted. This is getting very, very dire at this point. Elazer has played a phenomenal late game after being in such a difficult position.
Oh man, this feels so bad if you're a Kelazhur fan. He was in such, as you said, he was in such an incredible spot, denying bases, getting insanely positive trades, but now again, good abducts here on the tanks, on the Liberators, and Elazer once again find his way in, but you can't find into that choke, not 5 tanks, not all those ghosts, so the game will continue on. but Kelazhur mining literally less than 1,000 minerals a minute. Yeah, sure, his army is still above 100 supply. His army is still terrifying, but it is not a replaceable one. Elazer's going to continue to trade. He's going to continue to try to find ways in. And if Kelazhur loses that bottom right base for a second time, I don't really know what's supposed to happen here. But for now, Kelazhur, he does hold the high ground. And one thing, you know, a Star Wars movie did teach us. The game is over if you hold the high ground, right?
Pretty much. I think actually at this point, the worst thing he could do, Elazer that is to continue attacking into that bottom right side. Because you have to know that's where Kelazhur should be concentrating his forces. For now, you wait for him to push at you. You mine as much as you can on this right side. Ooh, we are going to see a couple of snipes coming in on one of the Vipers. Takes it on down. The Ghost. Oh, if he could have picked those off, that would have been really big. But a clutch cloak right there from it. Kelazhur keeps him alive. Lurkers, yeah, you really don't want to push into this position. Oh, Elazer, he's going to come in on the backfield. He's going to lose a lot of these Lurkers, though. This was not a good move from Elazer. Okay, well, that is the kind of thing that you really can't afford to do as Elazer. Even now, he's building 13 more Lurkers, and that is very, very good. But now, because he lost all those, he is going to give up this base. This is still okay for Elazer because he's mining one of his opponent's bases, and Kelazhur never had a chance to even touch it. But this is still not exactly ideal. Oh, he loses a lot of lings, but he does ultimately get the tank, so that's something. But Elazer's losing as many Lurkers as he did on that left side, that actually really did sting, because now he was, you know, about what, maybe 9, 10, 11,000 resources lost for a while, and then he equalized it to about 8,000, and then he stayed stably at 8,000 for a while. Now he's back up to 12.5 thousand difference. This can become a really big problem. Elazer doesn't have the biggest bank.
I mean, we do have to point out, of course, if you mine out an extra base from your opponent, that is it's actually almost about a 40,000 resource differential over the course of a game. I think a base is about 26,000 resources. So as long as he's able to keep that base from Kelazhur, prevent him from mining out of it, it really doesn't matter how bad his resource loss differential is. Oh, this is so big. The tanks go down. SCV is falling as well. This has been the last mining base of Kelazhur. Here is now Elazer on the left side. We got to remember, Steadfast, Kelazhur is really not mining anymore, but he is on Ghost Critical Mass. He's on 15 Ghosts, and there's always a hope when you're on 15 Ghosts.
Yeah, but with the loss of that base on the bottom right, oh, he's going to lose the planetary. He didn't even repair it. Oh, no. And now he's going to have another command center canceled. He's going to lose the center tower. He's lost all agency and control of this right side. Kelazhur is now, well, now he's really, really in the dumps at this point. Oh, he's even going to lose a Ghost that I don't know where it was going. That was a very, very optimistic Ghost. Snipe's going to come on in, but while the Snipes are coming on in, we see a flank coming in on top of this army. Kelazhur trying to escape on out, but there is just so much Zerg right here. Blinding Cloud on the tank on the left. Lings and Banes trying to get in on top of these Ghosts. Blinding Cloud again. The Ghosts, they're running away, but to where? Kelazhur has 0 SCVs. He's got 62 army supply, and it is plummeting. There is no hope for Kelazhur beyond the next couple of seconds, maybe.
He is literally not mining, or at least, yeah, no, he's not mining. He's no more mules to drop. He has to spend it on a scan. So this army right here has to find no small number of miracles. He needs not one miracle, Steadfast. He's like 5.
And
there we go.
There are no miracles.